My first job was sales at Parks, Belk, and Rogersville back when I was in high school. I sold boys' clothes and men's work clothing, including a lot of Pointer brand overalls. Just about everybody that came in on Saturday morning wanted a pair of Pointer brand overalls. And the fourth generation of the King family, which has been making Pointer brand and other products for more than 100 years, is here with me this morning. Jack King, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Steve, and good morning, everybody. I'd like to say thank you all for buying that Pointer brand. We've been in business in downtown Bristol for 100 years.
And 100 years is a milestone that is very difficult to reach. Tell me about the history of L.C. King Manufacturing.
Okay, it was started by my great-grandfather. L.C. Was brothers. Everybody knows E.W. because E.W. was one of the most successful people here in this area growing up. But L.C. worked for E.W. until the age of 47. At the age of 47, he started the L.C. King Manufacturing Company down on Goodson Street in Bristol, Virginia. And in 1916, we actually moved to the location where we're located in downtown Bristol at the corner of 7th and Shelby. We've been there for 97 years, but even though we've been in business for 100. And that is the only location in the world that the Pointer brand overall jean and jacket is made. And we're pretty proud of that. All the stuff that we make is 100% American made. All the denim, the trim, the buttons, the zippers, the thread, all comes from America. So we are probably one of the few suppliers that can actually say that we are 100% American made. And that's just a testament to all the employees and the hard work of everyone that's ever worked at that factory throughout the years. And it's just something that we're all really proud of, and that's why we stay focused on making the best product we possibly can. We know we cannot compete on price. There's no way I can compete with that Chinese labor, but that's all right. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just here to take care of my customer, take care of the employees. The employees are all focused on the customer, and we're really proud of that. That's just who we are.
Jack, this is the last family-founded and owned textile business in the country?
We are the last one still run by the founding family. And I'm the fourth generation. After LC, it was his four sons that worked there. There was Gene, Richard, my grandfather, Jack, and Dan King. If you all know Dana Reynolds, that's her father. And then after that, there were two boys. It was my dad, Riley King, if y'all know him from bird dog hunting or bird dog trials. Y'all know Riley. And then, my dad's cousin, or my uncle, Richard King. He ran the production floor. My dad ran downstairs. And they ran that business, some 35, 40 years. And then I came in 1998, and I bought my dad out 5 years ago. And so I've been running it. I'm the fourth generation, but we are the last family-owned textile mill in America still run by the founding family, and that's something that we're really proud of.
Well, obviously, how have you been able to do it?
We stay focused on the customer. We know we cannot compete on price, but if you make the best product you possibly can, and that starts from when we make the pattern, from when it's actually cut, from when all the small parts are put together, to where the whole garment is sewn, every employee is focused to make sure that it is absolutely the best product anyone can purchase in the market. Now, we're not going to compete on price, but what we are going to compete on is quality, making sure that the components are the best possible that you can have, as well as the construction of the garment. You can go out there in a lot of stores and you'll buy one size 36 in one store, it's one brand, and you'll buy the same brand, size 36 in a different store. And I will tell you folks, they are two different sizes. But if you buy that Pointer brand coming out of that same factory in downtown Bristol, it will be the exact same size year after year after year. Because why? It's made by that same person year after year. I've got employees that have been there for over 30 years. You can't beat that kind of experience in making something that you're going to put on your body and wear all day long. So we focus on the quality of the product and the quality of the craftsmanship that goes into making that jean.
Did you ever think about doing something other than the family business?
Well, Steve, I don't know if you all realize this, but I used to export food worldwide, and prior to coming to Bristol, I was actually on my way to Singapore. I was opening up an office for the company I work for down in Atlanta, and I was working my way towards moving to Singapore, but my dad called up. He said he needed some help, and I said I'll be up there, and that was on a Thursday afternoon. I drove up here Saturday, met with my dad. 2 weeks later, I was working in that factory. So, I had some reservations when I first arrived, But shoot, when you see all these people that fed me growing up and now I'm working side by side with them, I couldn't have made a better decision of coming home, taking care of this factory, taking care of this product, and best of all, taking care of that customer.
Your business has not only been successful, you're about to expand the line. Right?
Oh, gosh, we are so excited. Last February, we came out with a whole new line called Special Make. Now, a lot of y'all don't realize this, but we are a fashion label in Japan, and a lot of things that we make for Japan we do not offer to America. So through the past couple years, we received a bunch of phone calls and a bunch of messages from people saying, I saw this stuff overseas. Why can't I buy it in the United States? So what we decided was, let's take our best pieces that we've made for the Japanese market and let's bring it to America. We showed it to America this past February in Las Vegas at a clothing show. Everybody really responded great to it. That we had fantastic press. I think we took too many items because we had so many brand new items the press didn't know what to focus on. So what we've done is we've been sewing it all spring and summer, and so we're going to have a bunch of new items for our customers starting this September. And I invite everybody to either like us on Facebook or go to the Pointer Brand website and sign up for our email newsletter, and you will be contacted when each new item rolls out. We're going to have some fantastic banded collar jackets. It's a jacket with a unique type of collar. Then we're going to have some great looking over-dye pants, some great looking over-dye jackets. I think that's going to be our #1 seller coming into the fall, as well as we got a denim vest. And we just have a lot of new products, more fashion-oriented products that our customer really isn't used to us seeing. But what's happened is our customer has taken our standard product, put a little fashion to it, and is wearing it on the street in New York. And so what we've done is we've mimicked that, and now we're making it available to the public starting this fall. So I invite everybody to go to our website at pointerbrand.com or like us on Facebook at pointerbrand, and then you'll be notified as each new item rolls out. You can always come by the factory and see it anytime you'd like.
I knew you were big in Japan, Jack, but I don't know why.
Well, what it is excuse me, the Japanese market are the connoisseurs of denim fashion. All denim fashion starts in Japan. I can't explain why, but that is one of the aspects or characteristics of the clothing industry. Denim fashion starts in Japan. So what you're going to have is you're going to see stuff that's on the street in Japan 3 or 4 years prior to it coming to the States. And then once it hits the States, it just basically spreads like wildfire all across the world, because everybody around the world looks to America to see what we're wearing. But in fact, we look to Japan to see what the denim fashion is. And so it's just a natural fit for us to be a fashion label in Japan since our core product is denim.
Let's talk about the Pointer and Pointer brand. I know the dog's name, but I'll bet most people don't realize there's a story.
There sure is. That dog on that label was LC's favorite hunting dog, King's Carolina Bill. He was born on June 20th of 1922, and in his heyday, he was the king of all field trials. Now, if you've never been to a field trial, let me tell you what happens. It's 2 dogs in a field, 6 birds. Each dog has a handler, and there's a judge. And so what they're judging is they're judging the dog on point, they're judging the dog on retrieve, they're judging the dog on the back point, and there's several different ways that the handler and the dog receives points. So in his day, King's Carolina Bill was the champion field dog in the late 1920s and early 30s, and as well as all the pups that King's Carolina Bill sired sold for $50 a pup. Now, $50 back in the 20s was quite a substantial amount of money, but they wanted that dog that came from King's Carolina Bill. Now, what's really funny is, Steve, is that we have the original photo that the label was basically drawn off of at the factory, and you can see those drawings, and you can see a watercolor that we had done in the 20s, or 1929. Of the logo, and it's got that light blue background. So, you know, we kept the authenticity of the brand, but yes, there actually was a dog, and his name is King's Carolina Bill, and he was LC's favorite hunting dog.
What does it mean to you, Jack, for LC King to be a top 300 business in the South?
What an honor. And also, it's a testament to the employees. You cannot make it for 100 years without a fantastic and committed employee base. And I can't thank all the hard-working men and women that have ever worked at the factory. You know, being in business for 100 years, I got people walking up to me all day long saying, you know, my uncle worked there, my grandmother worked there, my neighbor worked there, and my daughter worked there, or my uncle worked there. And I can't tell you what a big smile that puts on my face every time I hear somebody that just walks up to me and says that. And I can remember a lady by the name of Louise Odom. Louise worked for us, no lie, folks, for 60 years. And I remember her son walking up to me and thanking me for allowing him to go to college. And I said, sir, I didn't allow you to go to college. Your mother allowed us to stay in business. And I thanked him tremendously for his mother's service to the factory and to the customer. But to be one of the top 300 businesses in the South and recognized this year was a fantastic honor, just for the employees as well as for the factory. And it is a testament of what can be made if you just keep your head down, just do it right, do right by your customer, do right by your vendor, and do right by your employee. You can stay in business and continue to be in business for 100 years, and that's just a testament to the employees. And we were really quite pleased with that honor 2 weeks ago down in Nashville to be one of the top 300 businesses in the South.
Obviously, American made's important to you, Jack. So what do you think about the clothing for our Olympics team not being made in America?
Well, I knew I was going to get this question, and it's a difficult situation. Ralph Lauren, he has a fantastic business model. He has a lot of retail stores. He has a restaurant chain. He has all kinds of different products, different aspects of his business. But I think the underlying factor of this whole Olympic Ralph Lauren commotion is that everybody was actually told those uniforms weren't made in America. I think everybody always knew it, but you didn't like being told it. So I'm going to tell you something that you're probably not going to like to be told. Carhartt is not made in America. Here's something else you're not going to like to hear. Wrangler is not made in the United States. But here's something fantastic, folks. That Pointer brand is made right here in the USA, and heck, it's made in Bristol. It doesn't get any better than that. So, this whole Olympic kind of stuff with the uniforms and stuff, just let it go, folks, and just stay focused on looking at that label inside the garment. And if you have the opportunity, make a stand and say, I'm not going to buy that Chinese-made stuff. I'm not going to buy stuff made in Mexico. I'm going to stick with what's made by my neighbor and made right here in America.
Jack King, the fourth-generation owner of L.C. King Manufacturing in Bristol. As Jack has told us numerous times in the last little while, they make Pointer brand and a lot of other products. Good to visit with you this morning.
Thank you, Steve, and I'd like to thank anyone who's ever bought or worn a pair of Pointer brand. On behalf of the factory, I'd like to say thank you.